you are doing well and safe during this pandemic of COVID-19. Myself, I am Shanil, your physics teacher. Today, we are going to discuss physics chapters of 10th standard. Here in 10th standard, in its first volume, there we have 4 chapters. First 3 chapters are in connection with current and electricity. And the 4th chapter in that first volume of the textbook is related with light. So today we are going to discuss first chapter of 10th standard physics textbook, that is effect of electric current. So at the beginning of this chapter itself, myself I am going to give you one small activity. That activity is nothing but one table is there that we need to complete. In this table you can see some devices or process name in left side, and in right side you need to write energy change associated with these devices or process. Okay, so going to the table. So here you can see electric bulb as the first device. So this is one electric bulb that I bought. You know, this one is an LED bulb. So device name electric bulb. So corresponding to that, here in right side you need to write the energy change associated with this device. So in order to function this bulb, not only this bulb, all type of bulbs, we need to supply electric energy. So that electrical energy, when bulb functions, all you know, electric energy will turn into light energy. So the energy transition or energy change is nothing but it is electrical energy to light energy. So that is the energy change that is happening in a bulb. Okay, so this energy change, how we can record that table? So here in right side we need to write that energy change. How we can write it? So you need to write electrical energy is converted into light energy, that we can write. But in our subject, one shortened way of writing is there. Instead of writing this energy change in this way, in a full stretch, instead of writing, we can shorten it. How we can shorten that, you know? So one method is there. You need to write electrical energy first, and after that one arrow mark, and then light energy. So electric energy, arrow mark, light energy, and this one you need to read as electrical energy is converted into light energy. So this is the energy transition that is happening with a bulb. Now going to the second device. It is nothing but electric fan. So while a fan functions, we need to supply electrical energy. So that electrical energy is utilized for a mechanical process. In order to run a machine, it has been utilized. So easy. The energy transition is electrical energy to mechanical energy. So that is the energy transition that is taking place with the electric fan. So once again, electrical energy to mechanical energy. Electrical energy, arrow mark, mechanical energy. Going to the third process. It's not a device, but it's a process. Process. So here, one battery myself I am having. So this is a battery that we normally use in vehicles. So while that vehicle functions, battery of that vehicle, automatically get a charge. So through this wires, electricity enters into this battery. Inside this battery, chemical substances are there. Diluted sulfuric acid is there. Lead plates are there. Chemical reaction between these substances occurs there. And due to that chemical reaction or chemical process, electric energy will get stored there. So the energy transition is electrical energy to chemical energy. So that is the energy change that is happening with a battery at the time of charging. So while we use this battery, that means at the time of discharge, energy change is different. It is not from the energy transition or change that I cited earlier. It is different. Okay. Now going to the table again. See there, you can see the next device as electric motor. In motor, as like in fan that I told you earlier, electrical energy we need to supply. And that electrical energy, while that motor functions, is utilized for a mechanical process. So that the energy transition is from electrical energy to mechanical energy. That means in this way, electrical energy, arrow mark, mechanical energy. Now going to the next process, and that process is electroplating. So the table it is clear, electroplating. Maybe in lower classes you studied what the process of electroplating is. Process of coating of one metal over another, we call it as electroplating. Maybe we have seen gold plated ornaments. So gold we need to coat over the metal copper. Near to our hand washing area, there you can see zinc coated iron pipe, galvanized iron pipe. So this one has done by the process of electroplating. So in order to conduct electroplating, electricity is essential. So in electroplating, the energy change or transition is from electrical energy to chemical energy. That means for a chemical process, the electricity has utilized, and because of that reason, in that way we can write electrical. Now going to one another process that also you studied in 8th standard chemistry, and that one in the table it is clear, electrolysis, process of splitting of one substance into its constituent components, that we call as electrolysis, process of splitting of one substance into its constituents, that we call it as electrolysis. And you studied how to split or how to conduct electrolysis of water, that you studied. And after carrying out the process of electrolysis with water, we will get hydrogen and oxygen as constant elements. So for this process, we need to supply electrical energy, and that electrical energy is utilized to carry out a chemical process. So that here also in electrolysis, as like in electroplating, energy changes electrical energy to chemical energy. Electrical energy, arrow mark, chemical energy. So that is the energy change that is happening during the process of electrolysis. Now going to one another device which is present in the table, and this device is well familiar with you, and is nothing but it is electric iron. In order to press the cloth we use electric iron. So while you plug this electric iron in a socket, and if you keep the switch in on position, electrical energy is converting into heat energy there. So simple to say. Then the energy transition in electric iron is electric energy to heat energy. One another device is there under the name soldering iron, and that is the next device which is present in the table, and maybe majority of you students didn't see what a soldering iron is, and because of that reason myself I bought one soldering iron here. So this is the soldering iron. So while you plug this device in the socket, automatically electricity enters. And here in between these 2 points where I hold my finger, there what will happen, heat production occurs. Inside this portion, one heating element is there. What that heating element is, that we will discuss by the end of this class. So here heat production occurs, and by using this heat we use this soldering iron in order to affix components over electronic circuit boards. So that is the use. So anyway, heat energy we need to get in order to affix the component over the electronic circuit boards. For that, heat protection should have to happen over this device. Anyway, you can say because of that reason, energy transition in soldering iron is, it is from electric energy to heat energy. Same as in that of electric iron. Okay. Now, so going to the next device in the table, it is electric kettle. This kettle, we use in order to boil 1 or 2 cup of water for the preparation of tea or coffee. We use this electric kettle. So while this kettle functions, electrical energy is converting into heat energy. So that is the energy transition that we can write with this device. That means electrical energy to heat energy. So kettle we can use in order to boil 1 or 2 cup of water. And if we need to boil very high quantity of water, we need to use one another device named immersion heater. That means if we need to boil one bucket of water or any very high quantity of water which is present in any other container, there we can't use electric kettle. But instead of that, we need to use immersion heater. So immersion heater also converts electrical energy into heat energy. Now going to the last device which is present at the table, it is a room heater. So in room heater also energy changes from electrical energy to heat energy. Okay, now we've finished the table completion. So in this table you saw in our first device, that is electric bulb, electrical energy has converted into light energy. In electric fan, electric energy has converted into mechanical energy. While on charging of battery, electric energy has converted into chemical energy. During the process of electrolysis and electroplating, there also electrical energy is converted into chemical energy. And with electric iron, soldering iron, electric kettle and room heater, electrical energy is converted into heat energy. The useful form of energy into which electrical energy is converted into by a device that we call as effect of electric current. So that is the meaning of this chapter. useful form of energy into which electrical energy is converted. That one is referred as effect of electric current in that device. So in bulb you can say electrical energy is converted into light energy, and because of that reason you can say lighting effect of electricity is utilized in bulbs. In fan and electric motor, mechanical effect of electricity is utilized. In the process of electrolysis and electroplating, chemical effect is utilized. In charging of battery also, chemical effect is utilized. But the last of 5 device which is present in the table, right from soldering iron, electric kettle, and also room heater, heating effect of electricity is utilized. So this is the meaning of this chapter, effect of electric current. In last 5 device, we saw electric energy is converted into heat energy. This type of devices, we call it as electric heating appliances. So what are electric heating appliances? Devices or appliances which convert electrical energy into heat energy are called electric heating appliances. So here one electric heating appliance myself I am going to show you. So that is nothing but is soldering iron that I took earlier. And here in this electric heating appliance you can see between these two portions, as I told you earlier, one heating element is there or heating coil is there, and this heating element or heating coil comes the major part of an electric heating appliance. And this major part, it is made up of an alloy named nichrome. Nichrome is an alloy. That means it contains more than one element. The constant elements which is present in the nichrome are nickel, iron and chromium. So by using these element, nichrome alloy is made up of. And this nichrome, it is having certain characteristic properties. And because of that property, we used nichrome as heating coil in electric heating appliances. And if you are going to analyze which are the characteristic properties of nichrome, so the first one, it is having very high resistance. So because of that high resistance, it can oppose the flow of electric current. Due to that reason, very high quantity of heat production will be with that conductor. So that is one of the characteristic property of nichrome. Nichrome is having. So the first property that we discussed is nichrome is having very high resistance. So going to the second property of nichrome alloy. Nichrome is having a very high melting point. It won't melt in a very lower temperature. If an electric iron is working for a long time, the coil which is present, which is made up of nichrome, it won't melt easily as it is having very high melting point. Next, in addition to this, nichrome can store electrical energy which has converted into heat energy for a long time. That means heat energy get produced over that nichrome coil, it can retain it for a long time. So because of that reason, when power failure occurs, we want to drop our activity of pressing the clothes even after the power failure. As nichrome can store heat energy there, will continue our job. That means the pressing of the clothes. Now going to the next property. Nichrome is having a very low thermal expansion. Metallic wires, when it get heat, will expand. Because of that reason, if it is wire, length will increase. But here in nichrome, as nichrome is having very low thermal expansion, that type of increment in length won't be there. So that also is one property of nichrome. Now, this is a time for me to give you some home assignment. And this assignment, you will get it as slides. So 2 slides are there. So going to that slides. So these slides, you need to pause. You need to pause the video and how to write down this question and how to answer it. And these answers I will check in our normal classes when it happens. So during that time, myself I will check those answers. So pause the video and take down the questions which is present in this slide and how to answer it. Okay. So today here in this class we studied what is the meaning of effect of electric current. What are thermoelectric appliances or electric heating appliances you studied. In addition to that, which is the major part of electric heating appliance and what are its properties, that much you studied today. So myself, I am concluding the lesson here, and we will meet in upcoming videos. Thank you.